So I've arrived at Brinkburn Priory up in the Coquette Valley. Now this place is supposed to be closed, but I've heard voices, so I'm assuming it's ground staff, so probably need to be a little bit careful. I'm going to try to go down to the castle grounds, get some video, not the castle, the priory grounds, and have a quick look around basically. So this place, it's half derelict and half renovated, so it's like a medieval Augustinian site. It's quite an interesting place. Apparently over many hundreds of years all the local folklore was this was a place where fairies had fairy mounds and they would bury the dead fairies, and other people, I mean this is like around here apparently, around the lake, it's the river itself. It's more like a, whoa, I've just seen something get thrown in there. Yeah, and apparently as well, locals in the area will hear church bells at night time, even though there hasn't been any church bells here for many hundreds of years apparently. And tonight it was meant to be quite misty, but all of the fog and the mist has cleared off from today, which is a bit of a shame. There's a little very small bird in the tree, looks like a coal tit, very small, wren maybe. So yeah, it does, it's got a beautiful feel to it, and I guess like the suspended feel of the place set down in the valley, collecting all of the mist and things like that, does give it that sense of otherworldly, suspended between two worlds for sure. And it's quite interesting. It's a place obviously where obviously has religious significance, shock horror with it being a priory, but in and around that and predating it and also postdating it is all of the local folklore, fairy burial sites and things like this, which is quite fascinating in a way. So anyway, I'm going to have a walk back up and see if I can get into the grounds itself. Well, I'm definitely going to get caught any second because I can hear voices down here. But I might have a, yep, whoops, someone's there and there's no way I can get around. So I think this visit is over before it's begun, unless I can find another way. Some of the rocks do look incredible, like little altars with flat surfaces just on the other side of the bank. Okay, well, I'm back down. Looks like everyone's left for the day, so I'll have a little walk around the priory and then head over to another place which I'm going to. It is very beautiful though, with all of the fern and the sound of the wildlife. The river, so serene. Yeah, it's interesting. I was reading about this place, and it's like the 18th and 19th century folklorists were saying how fairies buried the dead in the priory grounds, some kind of, like called the fairy graveyard. It's amazing how all these crazy stories come about. And also the bells, and there's one there. These are supposed to be heard by various people at various times across the River Coquette Valley. Other people have said they've seen, again, come on, fairies, but they've seen fairies in these rooms and things like that. Misty evenings apparently are the best when the fog comes through the valley, but I've I've got here when all the fog's cleared up. But it is still, it's still very pretty, very nice. God, how amazing would it have been to have lived here. So yeah, maybe there is some truth to these fairies, because my GoPro just stopped working, wouldn't turn on. I had to take the whole thing apart, take the battery out, put the battery back in, for it to eventually come back on. Now that is pretty unusual, and it's happened actually once before when I was at Chillington Castle. It's never happened anywhere else, so maybe there is mysterious entities that like playing around with electrical items, GoPro 10s especially, but yeah, it's odd. And that also happened, didn't it, at Brinkburn Priory, when my light just turned off. A night of significant activity as well, just turned off. So, but it's so serene, it is beautiful here, absolutely beautiful. And there's something, the tranquility has to be felt to be understood really. It's the sound of the birds and the river, and a beautiful August evening like this. Now, the thing is, it's October. It's mid-October and it feels like August. It's 15 degrees. I'm dressed for autumn weather and it's just not here yet. So I'm going to have another little walk around the grounds, get a sense of the place, and then I'm heading further up into Northumberland for the evening. So, ooh, but look at that for some firewood. Bit too big for my burner. Well, this is going to sound a little crazy, but when I was switching my battery out, after the GoPro just wouldn't start up, I was obviously by this portcullis type thing, little mini dungeon. Probably has a more boring explanation than a dungeon, but call it a dungeon because it looks like a dungeon. If it looks like a potato, it's potato. If it looks like a dungeon, it's also a dungeon. And that looked to me like a dungeon. So I took a little few second video, and as I was taking my battery out, there was a little flash inside. Like, it couldn't have been more than like 100th of a second. It was just there and gone. Very weird. Now I don't know if that was just me or an insect or something, but it was odd, isn't it, how it coincided with the battery incident. So yeah, maybe we've been visited by them. Plenty of food here. Right, now that is really, really strange, because this is what I'm saying. I've come back up to this and now I can't turn off my GoPro. which has never happened before. Now, how strange is this? Even my light, it took 3 attempts to turn the light off there. Oh, this is so strange, because I might have to, I'm going to lose this video. Wow, that is really, really weird, and I really hope this video gets saved. Okay, fingers crossed it does. Okay, so the crisis is over. I managed to, I just held down both buttons on the GoPro, and it seemed to stop the video, and it just said repairing the file. But in all the years I've had my GoPro, that's never happened. It's never happened where I've been recording something and it does that. So clearly this is the first time. So probably technical hardware issues, software issues, yeah. But I did leave some acorns, didn't I, just in case they're angry. So hopefully that gives them a full belly, because nothing is more angrier in this world than a hungry fairy or a hungry woman or a hungry man, just to keep all the genders happy. So anyway, I think I'm going to call it a day here, because I want to head up to another place, and I want to be up there before it gets dark, and basically sunset is 15 minutes or so. So, but this is a cool place. It would be amazing to come up here at night time. Beautiful place, so tranquil. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here for now. It's been a nice little initial explore around the grounds. Obviously all of this looks new, and I don't think there's any interior usage. There's nothing inside, so I don't know whether that's going to be commercialised for tourists and things. Probably holiday lets, something like that. High-end, 400 quid a night job. But yeah, okay, anyway, enough rambling on. Beautiful place. One last rotation. Let's not go back there in a hurry. Hear the acorns and everything coming down now. That's what was falling in the river before as well. Okay, yeah, beautiful here. On to the next place. This just landed on my feet. Out of nowhere. Literally just landed in front of me. It's so unusual. A red admiral. I'm not going to disturb it. But it was beautiful. It just literally was just a flash of colour in front of me. And it landed on my feet. And of all the places it could have landed, it shows here. What's the chances of that?